And happy Friday, May 12th, 2023. And welcome to this Mother's Day weekend edition of what we like to call the Clash of Le Champions. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Kirk Cadet, in the flesh as always. And this man needs no introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is his tag team partner, none other than Jonathan Randall himself, the adventurer, your life of the party. And that's right, your tag team of myself and Kurt are here to bring you the wrestling news you need to hear. And boy, we have so much to get into. Kurt, how you been?
I've been okay, just had a long day, but I get to rest tomorrow, which will be nice. But it is what it is. But we did
That's
have a
good.
crazy ass backlash show this past Saturday from San Juan, Puerto Rico. And
That's
and I
right.
gotta say, bro, one of the hottest crowds I've seen for a show in a long time.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, man, they were hyped to have a pay per view in Puerto Rico for the first time in what, 18 years, right?
18 years, yes, 2005 was the last time.
18 years. And they really showed how much they cared about the product, about just everybody, in wrestling in general. And they really showed up for it. More importantly, the show was a success. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. Both nights, even SmackDown the night before, the crowd was mad hot. And a lot of the superstars in WWE would like to have Backlash in Puerto Rico yearly from now on.
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah, they really had a good experience and they like really want, to make going back to Puerto Rico a regular thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't blame them.
Oh, of course not. That band, they're very passionate, very passionate. And hell, I'm surprised I've never been there either. Hopefully, me and my girlfriend will get to go there one day. But yeah, my favorite artist is from Puerto Rico, which who is the host of that show, and I'm talking about Bad Bunny, ladies and gentlemen. And not only was he the host, but he was also involved in a match we'll get into later. But we'll start off with the first match of that night.
Well, technically, he didn't really host the show per se.
Yeah, that was weird though because they came off as if how they started off like a month ago or whatever, a couple months prior. They started off as Bad Bunny is the host, but then later on it was like, oh, well, he's just going to be in a match. So
Yeah, it's all good. In the opening match of the show, we did have Bianca Belair defending her Raw Women's Championship, even though she's a part of SmackDown now, against
mhm,
Io Sky, who's
yeah,
also a part of SmackDown now. But with those issues aside, these two women put on a hell of a performance. Holy
they did.
shit!
And you know what's the crazy thing? The Puerto Rican crowd was in favor for EO Sky.
Yeah, Bianca was kind of getting booed a little bit. They were really behind
Yeah,
Io, really behind her.
yeah. I tell you what. I tell you what. We've been complaining for a while about, especially in Bianca's case, about how the build-ups to the women matches haven't been good, but the matches they turn out to be the opposite. They really caught us by surprise. They really show up.
Yes, and this was the EO Sky that people have been wanting to see ever since she got called up. This is like the
Right,
NXT EO Sky.
right.
Yeah, and they both killed it. But then as the match went on, Damage Control came out. And as Bailey was distracting the referee, Dakota Kai kicked Bianca in the head, which allowed Io Sky to set her up for the moonsault. But as she was about to do it, the referee noticed Bailey grabbing Bianca's braid and try to get her to stop. And as she did that, Io Sky missed the moonsault, and then Bianca hit her with the KOD and retained her championship, which obviously I wasn't surprised by.
Yeah. I was more surprised about the match because I wasn't expecting the match to be this good. That's what I'm surprised about. There was a little of a botched move in the middle of the match. I don't know if you noticed that because Bianca Belair had Sky up in the air, and when she dropped her, it was like how the way Sky landed was pretty. It was like an awkward landing for her.
I could tell like that Bianca was like really in pain in her arm and like she could like barely hold her up, and that's probably why it went the way it did. Her arm probably
Right.
gave out. But great match nonetheless. And as Bianca retained the title in this match, she is now officially the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era,
Mm,
and the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion of all time as well.
yes.
Even though she's on SmackDown now.
I mean, are they gonna switch the titles like they did the last time, or what's?
I don't know if they're gonna switch the titles or like give them like different titles or whatever, but yeah, they need to do something besides a belt swap.
Yeah, that's weird. Really weird.
Also, I heard that after the match, Bianca and Io Sky got a standing ovation
Oh,
backstage.
okay. Yeah, it's well deserved. They deserve that. Like I said, that was kind of like a little bit of a coming out party for EL Sky as far as in the singles competition because usually she's just with in a tag team with Damage Control, but this is kind of like her coming out party. This is first time that we're like, okay, we're really seeing a confidence in this person now. You know what I mean?
Yes, and the way it looked from this match with Damage Control interfering, it's looking like it's going to be a split between the group very soon, and Io Sky is going to go solo, and I think she's going to have a good year when she does. She's going to be off to the races when she
Mm,
does. Yeah, but yes, it was a coming out party for her, and I can't wait to see what comes from this going
yeah.
forward. Bianca looked great, by the way. That pink outfit, that shit was just working. Yeah, but anyway, let's get on to the next match. We had Seth Rollins against Omos, and a match that had no build up, no storyline,
Oh,
barely any interactions between the two.
then see what's the whole purpose behind it.
But whatever, the match was fine for what it was. It was cool. And then it ultimately ended with Seth Rollins hitting Omos with a curb stomp from the second rope after he already curb stomped him multiple times but couldn't get the job done. But once he did it this time, he got the pin and he won the match.
Yeah, start off in a weird way. Seth Rollins pretty much gets attacked from behind from Omos as he's posing in the middle of the ring as the fan is chanting his theme song. But it was an okay match. But again, I just didn't see what was the purpose behind it. No build up, but it is what it is. We move on, which we'll get into later. Rollins is on to bigger and better things later this month, as we'll talk about later going on to the show.
Yes, and moving on, we had the triple threat for the United States title between Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, and Bronson Reed. And as I predicted last week, especially considering that Theory is on SmackDown now, Theory ended up retaining the championship after Bobby Lashley speared Bronson Reed, but then Theory threw Lashley out of the ring and then pinned Bronson Reed to retain the title. So no surprise. The match was cool. It was fine for what it was. I thought it would have been a little better, but shit
It
happens.
was a it was
And
okay. I mean, I liked it. I really like Bronson Reed's performance. I really hope for bigger things for him later down on in the road. But yeah, um, I knew Austin Theory was going to retain the title. I mean, there's there's no reason to take the title off of him, especially after him, getting the win over John Cena, the month earlier at WrestleMania. But yeah,
yeah, but it's so crazy that like ever since WrestleMania, like you thought Theory would become an even bigger deal after beating John Cena, but honestly, if anything, he even cooled off since WrestleMania.
well, they haven't really put him in a very good feud yet. And I'm not trying to push him to the off to the shelf just yet. I'm not. I still have confidence in him. I have way more confidence in him than I did last year. That is for sure. But honestly, Kurt, I think we just need to be a little more patient.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm saying like you figured with like him beating Cena at WrestleMania, like it was gonna be like a huge deal for him and like make him an even bigger
Yeah.
star, but it did not do that shit. Like honestly, he does not feel. To be honest, he feels a little less special than he did before WrestleMania.
Hmm. I get it. I think honestly, we
That's
just
the vibe I'm getting.
okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess we just need to. He needs to be put in another good feud with who I don't know yet.
We'll see. With Lashley, I guess now out of the U.S. picture for the time being, it looks like he could be another challenger for Roman, maybe a Money in the Bank.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, Roman's not the only top guy on SmackDown now. You have AJ Styles now. You have Bobby Lashley. Edge is still there. So yeah, I would. Lashley has yet to be in a storyline feud with Roman, so that is something I would love to see later down the road.
Yeah, they haven't wrestled each other in about 5 years.
Holy crap!
Actually Lashley was the last person to ever beat Roman clean at Extreme Rules 2018.
Wow.
The last time Roman was pinned was at TLC in 2019 against Corbin, and the
Yeah, I
last time he
know.
actually
Damn, Corbin. He was the last guy to pin him. I remember that. Oh man.
and then the last time he actually lost clean was to Lashley, so that is a story they could tell down the road.
Yeah.
Even though it was still stupid to have Roman retain at WrestleMania, but we won't get into that right now.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get deep into Roman later on. Yeah.
And our next match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, we had Rhea Ripley, who's a part of Raw now, defending her title against Zelina Vega, who was wrestling in front of her family and friends in her home country of Puerto Rico. And she actually came out with a Puerto Rican flag, a part of her robe. And
Yes.
she, during the match introduction, she got a standing ovation, a huge ovation, and you could literally see her crying throughout the entirety of it.
Yes, yes, and good for her. And that is a one of the things I really like about this show. This is pretty much more like a homecoming for some wrestlers, past and present. For her, for Damien Priest, even for the past wrestlers. We forgot to mention earlier in the show, after the first show, as Bad Bunny's in his locker room getting ready, Rey Mysterio shows up, but more importantly, Salvio Vega appears, who we have not seen in God knows how long.
Yeah, he got a great pop, a huge pop.
Yes, and it was so, bro. I'm quite sure you felt it too. It was so, like, I don't know if it was nostalgic for both of us. It was, but it was so great to see him again, man. And it was like a homecoming. So to see Selena Vega, you know, in her home crowd, the emotions that was very heartfelt. And it was actually it was a good match, decent match. I mean, we all knew that Rhea Ripley was going to retain though, but I honestly think the bigger winner came out of that match was Selena Vega, because even though she lost the match, she got another standing ovation after the match.
Yes, but there were some nice spots during the match where like Zelina Vega took the slipper and threw it at Rhea Ripley, which is I
The
guess like a
chancla, the
um,
chancla.
yeah, which is a reference to what a lot of Puerto Rican parents do, but that's another
It's
story.
just Latino in general.
And then there was one point where Rhea tried to do the riptide, but then Zelina reversed it into like a
Yeah.
DDT. Yo, that's a nice reversal. I like that
Mm,
spot. And then she did the Eddie Guerrero. She did the Eddie Guerrero tribute when she was on the second rope and did like a double knees to the face. And then Rhea ultimately did win the match with a riptide and retain the title, which we obviously expected to happen. And then after the match, Zelina got up, got another standing ovation. You could see how emotional and happy she was from that. And yes, it was a great moment. And honestly, it wasn't about her winning or losing, regardless of how the match turned out for
right.
her. Just being able to have that moment in her home country, that you can't top that.
Exactly. That's why I feel like she came out the bigger winner, and coming out of that match. You know what I mean? It was a homecoming for her, and we knew that that Rhea was gonna retain. You know, look, you're not gonna. That's any champion. Let's be real, guys. Any champion that just won a title at WrestleMania is not going to lose at the following pay per view. Take me to a time, maybe my memory's not right, Kurt, but take me to a time where a wrestler won a title at WrestleMania and then ends up losing at the following pay per view. I think the only thing I could think of, Kurt, was RVD back in 2002. He won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania and he loses at Backlash at against Eddie Guerrero.
John Cena in 2009.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, yes, yeah. Last Man Standing against Edge was classic. The whole pay per view was a classic anyway.
Yep.
But yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, I was happy. I was happy for Zelina. I'm happy she got that moment. Her husband
Mm.
even tweeted like, "Win or lose, this is your moment. Take it all in."
Exactly. It was. She came out the bigger winner.
Yeah, like I'm sure like no matter what, yeah, you could never take that night away from her. That'll probably be one of the highlights, if not the highlight of her whole career, and that's not a bad
Mm-hmm.
one to have even by any
No, of
stretch.
course not.
Yeah, but Rhea retains. I liked how she had Dominic's name on her ass on her tights.
Oh, I did not catch that.
I didn't catch it until afterwards when they posted a picture of it online. But
Oh
yeah,
wow.
she had Dom on the back of her tights.
Yeah, I did not catch that.
And Buddy
Wow.
Murphy, I think, left a comment under the picture too.
Are you serious?
Funny as hell. It's so funny. Zelina's husband and Rhea Ripley's boyfriend are both in the same stable in AEW.
Yeah. That's wow. Wow.
In our next match, we had Bad Bunny returning to his home country of Puerto Rico to take on his former homeboy and also the home country boy, Damien Priest. And bro, that response when Bad Bunny first came out, when his music dropped, goosebumps, bro. Yeah,
Chambea,
goosebumps.
it was goosebumps because the crowd was just ate it up. Singing a song, everybody knows that song. I know that song. It's just a few years old, but another a little side note to that song, Kurt, in the music video, Ric Flair's in there.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, Ric Flair's in that music video, and yeah, that crowd ate it up, singing word for word to that song. I thought he was gonna come out to Booker T though, but no, he came out to Chambea.
And he
But
and he came out with the shopping cart full of weapons, and that was actually a tribute to New Jack.
oh yeah, yes, I saw a picture of that too. Yeah,
Yeah, that response he got was the equivalent to, let's say, like Michael Jordan winning a title in Chicago, or
I think him coming out to the ring is kind of similar to CM Punk's entrance at Money in the Bank in 2011.
yeah, you could say that. But yeah, it was an epic response. Like that response will definitely go down in history. Holy shit, man!
Oh, absolutely,
But we
absolutely.
have the match, and the match was great. These two went at it.
Yeah,
Within
yes,
1 minute of the match, Bunny hit Damian Priest with a Michinoku driver.
he did it twice. That's the thing, Kurt. Ooh,
And then he did a moon, and then he did I'm sorry, then he did a cross body off the top rope to the outside on Damian Priest. And I like the line that Michael Cole had saying that bunnies can fly.
yeah.
But then there was this one point where Damian Priest was acting like he was gonna leave, and then Bad Bunny like ran up to him to try to stop him, and then but this ended up being a setup as Damian Priest knocked him down.
Playing possum, playing
Yeah.
possum. He'll work. He'll work.
And then they were brawling outside, and then it got to a point where Damian Priest actually hit the broken arrow onto Bad Bunny through a freaking table. Yo, that shit was hard to watch, man. That was a very
Ooh.
nerve-wracking spot to watch.
Yeah, but you know what? You gotta give him credit, man, for him wanting to do that. Not everybody's gonna put themselves to that in a position. No, I'm sorry. A part-time wrestler who's mostly a celebrity will not put themselves through that.
No, they will not. Bad Bunny definitely showed that he was taking it
You
seriously.
gotta give him all the credit. You give him all the credit. People could talk all the mess they want about that guy, and I don't listen to his music and all that bull crap, whatever. But you gotta give that man respect for him for the respect he has for that business, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. He definitely shows up and actually gives a shit, which says a lot. Then the match goes on, and then Damian Priest tries to hit Bad Bunny with a kick to the head as Bad Bunny's against the post, but Bad Bunny moves out of the way, and then Damian Priest's leg hits the post, so Bad Bunny takes advantage of this and takes him to the post and hits his knee onto it
Oh
multiple
yeah.
times, and hits his knee with a chair at one point. I'm sorry, hits his leg with a chair at one point.
Oh boy. Mm-hmm.
And as this is going on,
Yeah, hardcore.
we are greeted with Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor, who try to come in to make the save. And as they're doing this, they're
Yes.
countered by Rey Mysterio and a returning Carlito.
Yes. And boy, oh my God. Kurt, let me tell you something. When Carlito came out, I had to rewind it twice. And the reason why I did that, Kurt, was because of the crowd. I felt that was goosebumps right there for me.
Shit was crazy.
Dude, holy crap.
They had a lot of
I
surprises.
was just like, is this. I know, but just seeing Carlito come back, bro. And look, just for the record, WWE, sign him. Sign him up. Okay? Please. But yeah, just seeing Carlito come out to the ring, oh my God. This again, nostalgia. And the crowd ate it up. That was like that pop, Kurt. Very similar to when Stone Cold came out during Backlash between The Rock and Triple H match. But yeah, that just seeing Carlito again, oh, brings back memories. It was great seeing him again. He comes into the match, he helps out Bad Bunny, and Rey Mysterio does a 619, and he even pulls out his vintage move. He pulls out the apple. He even does the backstabber
Yeah,
move.
and then he chewed on the apple and spit it in Dominic's face after he was hit with a 619, and then as Dominic and
Yeah.
Finn Balor are trying to escape, and Rey Mysterio and Carlito are chasing them down. On the other side of the entrance, they're greeted by Savio Vega and also the LWO,
Yes.
who proceed to beat the hell
Yes.
out of all of them, including two
Oh,
sidekicks by
Savio Vega.
Savio Vega, and they ended up chasing him to the back. It's crazy. All this shit was going on for like a good 5 minutes, and we forgot the match was actually still in progress.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Hell was breaking loose. You had chaos on the outside. There was still chaos in the ring. It was just like, my God, it was just complete madness. There was too much chaos. Even prior to everybody showing up, that chaos that happened, amongst the fans, which I love that. I love seeing matches like that. But yeah, it was just complete chaos, but in a
Yeah,
fun
it was
way.
nuts, and the match is still going on, but ultimately, Bunny hits Damian Priest with a Canadian Destroyer and just like throws his body on top of him and gets the pin. And damn, what a match! This match was freaking wild, fun.
Some people are calling it the Bunny Destroyer, I believe.
Whatever it was still dope. He pulled it off, won. And
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, this is definitely one of the early match of the year candidates.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And boy, woof. Bad Bunny was just on fire for these past month and a half, man. He was at Coachella, then he was at the Met Gala, now he's at Backlash. I just saw him just right now at courtside at the Lakers game right now when I'm watching right now. But yeah, he
He's
just
everywhere. He's
boy.
literally everywhere. I
Oh
did
yeah.
like that meme I saw because he's dating Kendall Jenner, where she's wearing like a Wolfpack shirt and he's wearing like the LWO shirt, and it says that I think this is going to cause some problems in their relationship.
Oh my god. Do you think so, Kurt?
I don't know,
I'm just messing. I know, but still.
yo, but fun match,
Oh
but fun
boy.
match. Everyone was actually very impressed with Bad Bunny's performance to the point where they want to use him again soon.
For SummerSlam, I hope. I think Salvio Vega pitched the idea that maybe they could do something, be good to do something for SummerSlam.
And
But yeah,
and I'm happy they did a one-on-one match because I told you the original plan was supposed to be Ray and Bad Bunny against Dominic and Damian Priest, but
yeah,
everybody apparently
yeah.
involved was confident that they could do a one-on-one with Bunny and Damien, so that's why they went in that direction, and it worked.
hmm
And also, Damien Priest backstage is now seen as like a main event player, like a dude they can depend on in that kind of spot.
And you know what? I'm actually happy to see that because I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I don't know if you felt this, but I kind of felt like for a while, a little bit, that the whole Judgment Day was just as far as the spotlight and getting like the bigger push was Rhea, and I felt that I get that Dominic, he's getting up there as a heel. Um, I know that Finn Balor was in a Hell in a Cell match with Edge. It wasn't. I just felt like something wasn't like clicking as far as being like a big push and all that stuff. And then Damien felt like I just felt like Damien was like the outcast a little bit. I didn't see anything for this guy, especially going into this year. You know what I mean? But after watching this match, Kurt, now I'm kind of like, okay, great. We're going to see something out of him now because of this match.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a major player now, and he deserves to be. They put on a great performance, both of them did. And it's crazy how they
Right.
started off as like tag partners a couple years ago at WrestleMania, and now in this scenario they were
Mm-hmm.
opponents, and they made magic together. And everybody else involved was great too, with Savio, with the LWO, with Carlito coming, and then obviously the Judgment Day. Yeah, everybody did their thing.
Yeah. Loved
Yeah,
it.
just a fun atmosphere. I wish I could have been there for it.
Oh man, yeah. I was kind of like, man, what if I just went to Puerto Rico? I mean, I would not go to Puerto Rico just for wrestling, but there's so much to do out there, though. But yeah, just to be at that event, yeah. I mean, hell no, I mean, why not?
I wonder if they were like allowed to go out and see the city because I heard that when they went there for New Year's Revolution in 2005 that they were like told specifically like not to leave the hotel because of how dangerous Puerto Rico can be.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah,
I need to listen to that podcast about it then.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, but in all honesty, looking back at it now, especially how this turned out, this match should have been the match to go on last.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. Especially how the way things went down. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you think of the last two matches, and especially the crowd participation in the last two matches, yeah, it was a mistake for it not to go on
They were
last.
burned out.
Yeah, but it is what it is. And that next match we're talking about, one of them is the 6-man tag between the Usos and Solo against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. And it was a good match. It was fine, but I could definitely tell like the crowd wasn't as into it because yeah, they were exhausted after that last match.
Well, of course, I mean, you couldn't blame them. But there was a little bit of a dissension between the Usos and Solo Sokoa, though. A little bit.
Yeah, because there was one spot where like Jay Uso was about to would have the advantage, and then all of a sudden Solo tagged him randomly, and then as
Yeah.
Solo was about to get into the match, Jay Uso tagged himself back in. And there was this one point where like Solo was going crazy on everyone, and then Jay like just tapped him on his back, and then as he did that, Solo was about to hit him with the spike, but then he stopped himself when he realized who it was. But even though he stopped himself, he still held on to Jay, like he still wouldn't let go of him. And then it ultimately ended with Solo tagging himself in once again once Matt Riddle had the advantage on Jay, and then he hit Riddle with the Samoan spike and got the pin, and the Usos and Solo win. But despite the fact that they won, you could definitely tell there are some cracks that are showing.
Absolutely. And especially what happened earlier tonight on SmackDown. After what I saw on SmackDown, which we'll get into later, I mean, is it something that is really meant to happen, or I don't know? But yeah, I don't know. Wait, do we kind of predicted that there was going to be a little bit of a dissension after, maybe prior to WrestleMania? But did we say that?
Not with Solo, no, not with like Solo trying to with Solo have.
But I mean, mainly with the Usos, though. I'm mainly with the Usos.
I remember with Jay, like with like the Jay and Sami Zayn thing. You kind of like Jay kind of felt
Mm.
like loyalty to Sammy, but then after a while he ended up just siding with his family again. And like I guess Sammy's always been in Jay's head about like how he doesn't need the bloodline, how Roman's using him, etc. So yeah, like that's been a part of it. But like now it's like starting to build with Solo, like where like Solo's having issues with them.
Yeah, and it's a scary thing about that. Like it's like Roman's like taking hot notice of that, and yeah, we all are seeing that, and it kind of like it's gonna get worse and worse by later in the weeks, man. Especially after what I saw on SmackDown.
I didn't see SmackDown. I still got to catch up on it, but
Yeah, after you watch it, well, yeah, after you see it, you're kind of be like, what the hell?
the match itself was fine. It was what it was. It was kind of like like just a match you would probably see on Raw. And the best part about it, honestly, was the whole tension between Solo and Jey Uso. That was the highlight of the whole match.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with the storyline in the weeks to come. And I saw a funny tweet the other day talking about Sami Zayn, how asking whether or not people are still into him the way they were like back in February.
Really?
Yeah, because remember how hot Sami Zayn was, like, around the time he was going against Roman for the title at, Elimination Chamber. How,
Yeah,
like, they were saying he should maybe take the
yeah.
title off Roman. And he's still popular, but it definitely feels like he's cooled off since then.
A little bit. Like I said, man, it's just how the way I see things, bro. When you're in wrestling, right? This is my opinion. I mean, I'm quite sure everybody will agree with me. But when you are in good storylines, no matter how long they last, whether if it's a short one or a long term one, you have to stay consistent. You got to keep the ball rolling. So if I'm in a hot feud with somebody, right? Whenever there's a starting point, there's going to be an end. So right after that feud is over, what is the next step for me? What do you
Exactly.
got for me next? You got to stay consistent because as high as Sami Zayn was going into this year, Kurt, we all knew it was going to end afterwards, right? So in the back of your mind, as a creator, you need to think of you got to think long term, not short term. What's going to be the next step, next move? Who's going to be the next person you're going to feud with? And is this person that you're feuding with, is that going to how is this going to help this other person? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. But let's move on to the main event as we had Cody Rhodes going one on one with Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And the match started as Brock Lesnar was like doing his little walk around the ring that he usually does. As he was
Ah,
doing that, Cody actually dove out of the second rope and dived onto him against the announce table, and then that's how the match began.
and you know what? This match right here for Lesnar, I like because it was so different from the other matches that he usually does have in the past, where he's usually dominating. No, this was different. Cody at first had a little bit of the advantage early on in the match. That's something I've never seen before. Don't get me wrong. I know Omos had advantage over him. That's because of the size. That's different. Cody had a little bit of advantage over him. And you usually don't see that in Lesnar's matches. So to see that, that was a good thing. I wanted to see something different.
Yeah, honestly, I thought this match was just okay. As for one, it was mad short. For two, the fact that it went on after the Bad Bunny match also took away from it. But there were some cool things in it. Brock did his usual, like, suplex city shit that he always does. And there was this one point where he gets rammed into the exposed turnbuckle and he ends up getting busted open as a result of that. And he
Oh
did not
yeah,
blade himself. He actually did not blade himself. He actually did get cut open the hard way.
yeah, man. That was crazy. I mean, I liked it. There was a I don't know what page it was though, but people were saying should wrestling go back to bleeding and all that stuff. And some people are like, no. And me personally, some were yes, but me personally, I'm like, blood's always been part of the sport, even before our time. So why not?
I think for certain matches it's okay. That doesn't need to be in every match, but for certain matches, like like a War Games match,
If it's like a street fight or a match that has high significance, and yes.
like a violent match, like a match that's supposed to be violent, like Hell
Yeah.
in a Cell.
Bobby Lashley, I don't want to spoil it for you though, but Bobby Lashley was bleeding in his triple threat match on SmackDown.
Well, you already did spoil it for me.
Sorry, I said I didn't mean, I said I didn't mean to, but
And then there's one point where Brock puts Cody in the Kimura lock, and as he has a minute, Cody pushes himself up, and then he kind of gets Brock in a pinning position and actually gets the pin out of nowhere, and Cody
yeah,
defeated Brock Lesnar. It was funny. I noticed that like right when he pinned Brock and got out of the ring, he got the fuck out of there as fast as he could.
I wouldn't blame him. I would too. Shoot.
Yeah, but that kind of finish came out of nowhere. It kind of like felt like I guess premature in a sense, and you could definitely tell by the end of the match that like yeah, this is gonna continue. This feud is not over.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, that definitely showed that the feud was gonna continue, and it definitely is. As 2 nights later on Raw, in one of the triple threat matches in which it was Cody, The Miz, and Finn Balor. Cody had the match won with the Crossroads, but as he was about to get the pin, Brock Lesnar randomly showed up at ringside and pulled him out of the ring, hit him with an F5 on the floor, followed by another F5 through the announce table, grabbed a mic and like started shouting and yelling about how
Look at my face.
yeah, he grabbed the mic. He started shouting and yelling about how he wanted a rematch and he wanted to have a fight with Cody this time, and that you don't get the better of me. Yeah, he was wilding out. He was freaking wilding out big
Yeah.
time.
I think he was more wild enough because of the fact of what happened to his face. Look at my
Yeah,
face. Oh my god.
yeah, that was a nasty, nasty cut, man. You could definitely see it right in the middle of his face.
Yeah, bro. But hey, that's the name of the game. Yeah,
Yes, he challenged Cody to the match at Night of Champions or whatever the fuck it's being called now.
Yeah, Night of Champions.
And Cody later on
Um,
that night accepted.
yeah, and you know what? This is good because I knew that um, I knew that the feud wasn't over. Because, like I said, man, I don't think it's right to have Cody. Oh, put him in the World Heavyweight Championship match. No, that is not the title that he needs to get. He needs to get after go after Roman's title. So having Lesnar get involved in the match, costing him the match to continue the feud is a good thing.
Yeah, I figured this feud was gonna have multiple matches, and just the way the match at Backlash ended, yeah, kind of like left you kind of confused, but whatever. But looks like they're having the rematch at the next pay per view, which will be fine. I'm sure it'll be solid. But yes, one thing I was happy with this whole scenario was the fact that Cody is not gonna be in that world heavyweight title match at Night of Champions because he needs to be going after Roman's
Good.
titles when that time does
Thank
come.
you. Thank you.
And Booker T was trying to defend it, saying how like anybody who calls the new title a consolation prize has never had a championship or never really won anything. That's a belt that anybody who wins it should be proud of and take pride in, etc. And I'm like, bro, come on, you know
Yeah.
that shit is a consolation prize. Come on now, you guys. I'm
Kurt.
like, bro, you guys are not fooling anyone. You guys are not fooling anyone.
I mean, I mean, the fact that they're having the draft. I mean, come on now. Like, what? Wait. I mean, what were you gonna do? I mean, it was very obvious that was like the right approach to do it. I mean, what were you wanted like? What were you gonna do back? The same thing they did in 2002, where whoever's the champion is gonna be on both
That's
shows.
fine, yeah. But the thing is, Roman
But
doesn't come to
knowing,
both shows.
but okay though. But knowing that Roman doesn't really, he's kind of like part time now. So it wasn't surprising me that he was on SmackDown.
Yeah, but like I said, this whole stupid thing could have just been avoided if they had Cody win at WrestleMania. It's already been over a month, and it still feels like it was a dumb move to do that. Because like with everything going on now, like creating
Yeah.
a new belt when they already have two other belts, and now they're on separate shows now, and fucking Roman was off TV for over a month.
That's what I'm saying. And he,
Tonight on
right,
SmackDown was
right. That's why they put him on.
tonight Roman appearing on SmackDown would be his first appearance since the night after WrestleMania.
Right. That's why they put him on SmackDown.
I get that Roman's having that run and everything, but you like kept the belts on a part-time guy who was gone for over a month instead of putting it on a dude who's there every day and who has momentum, the fans are behind, and who's already feuding with Brock Lesnar. Yo, tell me that Brock Lesnar and Cody feud wouldn't be better if it were for the belt.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, are you serious? And then Lesnar, he's on the decline in his career. That would have been a perfect way to have like that last little, run at the title before he leaves. I get what you're saying. I absolutely do.
Yeah.
Look, but look, let's not act all surprised about them having another championship after what they did for the draft. I knew that Roman Reigns was going to be on SmackDown. That was like the right decision to do because he is pretty much technically a part timer now. So why would you put a part time champion on your flagship show, which is Monday Night Raw? So they had no other choice to do what they had to do but put in another title. Now it goes to my next question. Now I hope that if Cody goes after Roman after this feud with Lesnar, when he does eventually does beat Roman for the title, do you think hopefully that they'll combine the titles instead of having two, like the Universal and the WWE Championship, just make it the WWE title here on out?
That I guess they might as well whenever that does happen, whenever that happens,
Yeah,
because like we talked
yeah.
about last week, there are rumors going around that they might not do the rematch until WrestleMania next year,
Oh Lord Jesus, I cannot wait that long, dude.
and they may do Roman against Bad Bunny at SummerSlam.
Oh
No, I love Bad Bunny. He put on a great performance, but yo, he doesn't need to be in the title match.
no, this is not WCW where you put what's his name? What's that one celebrity's name?
David
Um,
Arquette, but this is different. This is
yeah,
different.
I know, but still,
Yeah, but they don't need to put the title. They
but
don't need
no,
to put him in a title match.
thank you or any celebrity for that matter.
All right, but back to this little thing they're
Uh,
doing for the title though. So Finn Balor ended up winning that match that Cody was in, and then Seth Rollins won his triple threat match earlier in the night as well. So they ended up facing each other in the main event on Raw, and they had a great match, no surprise. But the match was ultimately won by Rollins, and now Rollins will be a part of the finals of the tournament at Night of Champions. And although I did not see SmackDown tonight, I did find out that the winner of the SmackDown portion of this was AJ Styles, so it'll be the two of them at Night of Champions. And it's so funny, they're having people from SmackDown compete for a title that's supposed to be only exclusive to Raw. Ain't
I
that some shit?
said this. Yeah, I two things. Okay, number one, I said the same damn thing that you're saying when Triple H announced the tournament. I said to myself, okay, why are you having a championship that's exclusive only for Raw, but yet you're having competitors from Raw and SmackDown in a tournament? That makes zero sense to me. So what's going to happen if AJ Styles wins the title? What?
I don't
What?
think he will, but
No, I know I'm saying, but like put that scenario in your mind though, if that were to happen. Like that doesn't make any sense. Number two, I predicted that it was going to be Rollins versus AJ Styles in the final. Okay, but that was before Edge had posted a video of him saying about how important the title means to him and how that will be like a last goal for him to accomplish before he retires. Because let's face it, we kind of forget. Well, I think I've forgotten that. Remember, that was the title that he never lost. He had to relinquish the title because of his to get surgery, career-ending surgery. May I add? So when I heard him say that, I was like, "Oh my god! Well, never mind. I would love to see Edge in it," but it didn't turn out to be that way. So, but yeah, it is Rollins versus Styles, AJ Styles, in the final for the World Heavyweight Championship at Night of Champions.
yes, we're gonna have that match. We're gonna have Cody and Brock. And it looks like also we're gonna get Rhea Ripley and Natalia, because on Raw Monday, Natalia came to make the save for Dana Brooke after Rhea Ripley was attacking her, and looks like they're gonna be going in that direction.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm kind of feeling like on Raw right now, Rhea doesn't like really have a lot of opponents where like you feel like there's a chance they could beat her. At least not right now.
Yeah.
The only other person I could see them putting her in a feud with that would like make a big deal would be Becky.
But right now she's entangled with Trish Stratus at the moment. So.
I think a lot of us would like to be entangled with Trish Stratus, but that's another story.
Oh Jesus,
Yo, she's still slaying shit.
she is.
Yo, she. I don't want to say she looks better than she did, 20 years ago, but she still looks damn good. Like she definitely did not age at all. Her, Mickey James, all those girls, they stay looking good.
No doubt.
Yeah, and then Trish also had that promo on Monday where you could like tell they piped in all the crowd noises. That's also another thing that pissed me off is all these piped in crowd noises they've been doing a lot. Even in the Brock segment with Cody, you could definitely hear a lot of it too.
That is dumb. They usually used to do that stuff for SmackDown only, though.
Nah, they would mainly do it like they started doing it really during the pandemic, and now that they have that toy to play with, they don't know how to put it down.
Good lord.
Yeah, so like Trish was talking shit about Becky, how like Becky was missing. She was like putting up Becky missing posters backstage, and then she tried to pull a Sean in Montreal in '05, where like Becky's music plays and like everybody thinks Becky's coming out, but it's just Trish fucking with them.
Mm.
I kind of knew that was gonna
Hill
happen, and then
stuff.
when it happened again, I'm like, okay, Becky's gonna come out, and then obviously she did, and she laid out Trish, made her run away, and now it looks like they're gonna have Becky and Trish at Night of Champions. I think they're probably gonna still do the feud longer and maybe extend it to SummerSlam, but I think they're more than likely gonna have the first match at Night of
Hmm.
Champions.
Okay.
It was funny, like Trish was making fun of Becky's daughter, saying how she doesn't know her colors.
What?
She's like, damn, your daughter's 2 years old and she still doesn't know her colors. The hell's up with all that shit? But yeah, so we're probably gonna get that match, and it's crazy. Night of Champions is gonna be the same weekend as AEW Double or Nothing.
Yeah. And you said you're going to be in Vegas during that weekend, correct?
Not looking like it's gonna happen that weekend, but I do have a good chance of coming in June sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, money was a little tighter than I thought around this time, so unfortunately, I
I
won't be
feel
able to
you.
make it for that weekend unless something miraculous happens between now and then. But in any event, yes, so we do have Double or Nothing coming up in 2 weeks, and the main event is official. It's going to be a four-way for the AEW Championship with MJF defending against Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin.
Dude, everybody's been talking about that turn on Kenny Omega.
Oh, by Don Callis when he stabbed him
What
with the
was
screwdriver.
that?
Yeah, that
Oh,
I kind of saw it coming. You could kind of tell, like over the last
nobody
few weeks that
did.
maybe over the last few weeks, Don Callis has been showing signs that he might turn on Kenny Omega. If you've been watching the show, but with the way it happened here, it was very well done and kind of threw people off guard. But I
True.
kind of knew deep down it was going to happen sooner or later.
Oh wow.
But that match was violent, though. That cage match was nuts.
I feel like all the big stipulation matches in AEW are violent, so it's not a surprise to me.
Like Moxley's obsession with blood in his matches is like the equivalent to the Ninja Turtles' obsession with pizza. It's kind of like you can't have one without the other.
What the hell?
Dude
Oh
stays bleeding in his matches.
wow. For real.
Yeah, and there was this one spot where I think Kenny Omega speared Moxley through the cage, and the cage like the side of the cage like fell down, and they fell out of it. Yo, that shit was nuts.
Dang.
And other AEW news, Tony Khan has a big announcement. He said next week, and what that announcement more than likely is about a new TV rights deal between AEW and WBD,
Yeah.
and also the announcement of that new AEW show I told you about a few weeks ago called Collision that'll be coming on Saturday nights.
Mm-hmm. About the TV deal. Does that mean? Because I was hearing about like they'll be on like HBO or something like that. Like give me a rundown about all that.
So basically, nothing's official yet. This is just all hearsay, but it's more than likely going to be announced. So the deal apparently is worth $1 billion,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll have like AEW's content on the new HBO Max streaming service. I'm not sure what the I think they're gonna have a different name for it starting soon called just Max, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically with this deal, I believe AEW's like I guess pay-per-views now will come on there, kind of like how WWE's ones come on Peacock,
Oh,
and
nice.
also and a lot of their old stuff, like a lot of their old content will be put on there too.
Oh, ooh, okay, that's good.
That's dope. Yeah, that'll
That
be
is
mad
good,
dope. Yeah, WWE has
especially on the pay per view standpoint too. That's really huge.
saved me $50. I'm down.
Ooh,
Yeah, but it's not official yet, but it's more than likely gonna happen. So yeah, that's a good look for them. That is a good
it
ass look
is
for them.
awesome.
And also that Collision show they're apparently probably gonna announce next week also. And on Dynamite, we actually saw the returns briefly of Miro as well as Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, yeah. So like she was getting interviewed and she was talking about how I want to step into Tony Khan's office. I was like, oh snap! And yeah, man, I was wondering when is Thunder Rosa was gonna rear her head in and when she's gonna make her come out of the shadows and finally back into the spotlight that she deserves. I missed her.
Yeah, so it's looking like with the way things are going now, with the two of them returning the way they did, it's seeming like Tony Khan's gonna put like them and also CM Punk on the Collision show. So I guess they could be kept away from the people they have issues with and have beef with. So it seems like Tony Khan's putting all of his problem children, quote unquote, on this show.
What? So pretty much it's like he pretty much like a jail show. I'm just gonna put all the bad little inmates on one show, right?
Or the ones who don't play kindly with others, yeah, because you heard the things about Thunder
Oh
Rosa.
my
Also,
god!
Punk goes without saying. And then
Wow!
Miro's been having issues the last few
Wow!
months. The last time Miro actually wrestled was at the All Out show, the one where Punk had the meltdown.
Wow! Mm.
And speaking of Punk is definitely coming back soon. It might be at that Collision show or the Dynamite before, which is also going to be in Chicago. And although I did say
Hmm.
he may feud with Chris Jericho when he gets back, another person he's supposedly been pitching to feud with is Samoa Joe.
Oh, that would be good. And they used to feud with each other in Ring of Honor. Hell yes.
Yeah, and I found out that they actually haven't, and I
Yes.
actually found out they haven't wrestled each other since 2005.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, right before Punk left to come to WWE. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would personally love to see that. I would love to see that feud.
Yes. Are you serious? Who would not?
I'm not like chomping at the bit to see like Punk against Kenny Omega or Punk against Hangman Adam Page again. Those guys don't have to work with each other. It'd be cool if it happened, but I'm not like chomping at the bit for it. But Punk and Samoa Joe, I would love to see.
Yes.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens whenever he comes back because it's inevitable. It is inevitable.
Hmm. It is.
Yeah, I guess it's the sense where like CM Punk is just somebody like even though he is a pain in the ass, he just makes them too much money, and it's I guess in that sense the amount of money they make from him, it's worth putting up with all that.
Hmm.
But I do maintain whenever he does come back, he does have a lot of apologizing to do, if he hasn't done so already.
He does.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Yeah, AEW is gonna have $1 billion TV rights deal, and they sold over 60,000 tickets for the Wembley show. Also,
Holy crap, it's getting higher. You see, not a surprise. It's getting higher and higher by the moment. When is it again? August?
August 27th. But the thing is, they have the All Out pay per view the week after.
Huh.
Yeah, it's so weird that they're having these shows so close together. But
Yeah, yeah. A week? Wow.
and I remember Eric Bischoff was saying some shit that they should have Punk go against Goldberg at that show at Wembley Stadium
That's iffy.
because Goldberg's a free agent, and I guess it would be a marquee match on paper, but I'm not trying to see all that.
Right.
And also, there's been stories coming out recently and getting into WWE real fast about Drew McIntyre supposedly not re-signing when WWE when his contract expires, and the way it's looking now is that it's kind of up in the air of whether or not he's going to stay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's been out ever since WrestleMania because he's been hurt. He's had like some injuries. He's been trying to heal. Hell, even before WrestleMania, I think I mentioned that he was hurt, but he just wanted to get through Mania and do that match, obviously. And
Hmm.
supposedly he hasn't been happy with like the way things have been going with him the last few years. I guess some communication issues, probably among other things. So
Right.
there is a possibility that he might not re-sign with them, but his contract does not expire until the beginning of 2024.
Okay. So most likely, whenever he comes back from his injury, we'll still see him compete. Probably pretty much have that last run. Hopefully, his last run will be like good and memorable.
But that's if he does leave. There's no guarantee that he will leave. But if he does, yeah, it would be nice for him to.
I know, but I'm just yeah, but I'm just saying like let's hope that whatever issues that is between the two, mainly on WWE's part, that can improve, like you said, the communication, and then also the direction for him.
Yeah, but even if he does leave, I mean, it would suck for him to leave. But even if he does, he had a great second time around with this run with the work he did in NXT.
Oh, absolutely, more than the first. Yeah,
The
man, absolutely. I just the thing is, yeah, it numbs me how and he's not in control of it. Nobody was. Is that he wins the Royal Rumble 2020. And then we have the pandemic. He did a great job with the title. It's just that it wasn't like a authentic title reign because there was no fans.
Yeah, and his case is another example of how they've sacrificed like so many dudes who them winning the title would have been a great moment. It would have been the perfect setting, perfect scenario, but they sacrificed it in favor of just keeping the title on Roman for as long as they have. They sacrificed Edge at WrestleMania two
Right.
years ago. Then they sacrificed Drew at Clash at the Castle, and then they sacrificed Cody at WrestleMania. It's kind of the opposite in
Yeah.
the sense where, like, when Roman was a good guy, they were sacrificing all the other good guys in favor of Roman and keeping Roman strong. And now, in the opposite scenario where Roman's a bad guy,
Uh,
they're sacrificing all the other good guys who, like, if they were to get a win over Roman and win the title, would be a big deal, big moment, and I would set that next dude up. But they're sacrificing those dudes in favor of still keeping Roman strong.
right.
And also, I haven't watched SmackDown yet, but yes, I did find out that at Night of Champions, even though they said all the titles would be on the line, they're gonna do Roman and Solo against Sammy and Kevin Owens for the tag titles.
Oh boy, after watching that promo, dude,
I haven't watched it yet. Don't spoil it for me.
I'm just how the way they're doing it, bro. You already know there's gonna be dissension.
You already know, like this whole thing is dissension all over the place.
Yeah, but it's very clear and adamant how what I saw.
And I still maintain, like after what I said on our podcast, like after WrestleMania, they better have a damn good plan and damn good payoff lined up for this whole thing because it's been over a month, and that decision
Yeah,
of what they did at WrestleMania still feels like a dumb idea.
I feel you. I'm the same way too, though. But I'm just
If they make up for it,
yeah,
if they make up for it and have a great story and great payoff lined up, then yo, I'll give them credit. I'll take it all back. But until then, and if they don't pull it off that way, they deserve to be criticized for that shit until the end of time.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So yes, in 2 weekends from now, Memorial Day weekend, we do have Night of Champions as well as AEW Double or Nothing. And actually, I heard Double or Nothing isn't even sold out. There's still like a lot of good tickets available.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's not pushing the tickets that you would think it would.
Oh wow, not like
Yeah,
last year. They were pushing it. Jesus.
yeah, but should be a fun show regardless. I think they're probably gonna do the start of the Owen Hart Cup tournament is gonna start at the show. It's not gonna end at the show like last year. It's gonna start there and it's gonna culminate on July 15th in Canada.
Oh, for real? What part of Canada?
I wanna say Calgary, but I'm not sure. I know it's somewhere in Canada, but I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right, bro. But anything else you want to get into tonight?
Not really. Just catch up with SmackDown. It was a very good show, in my opinion. Watch that segment between the Bloodline, and yeah, you're really gonna see how things get rolling after this, man. So yeah, but I am actually kind of looking forward to Night of Champions. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm sure it'll still be fun. I mean, those Sweet Saudi Money shows have gotten better the last couple years.
Sweet Saudi money. You know what's so funny, Kurt, before I go? I was actually
Yeah,
watching a classic movie. I was watching a movie called Lawrence of Arabia. Have you ever heard of it?
didn't see it. No,
You ever heard of it though?
I want to say yes, but it does not ring a bell right now.
Okay, yeah, but it's a very good movie. So when you talking about the Arabs, I'm thinking about Lawrence of Arabia. It's a war movie. It's an old war movie though, but it's super good. But yeah, that those Arab
Yeah, speaking of
the
a
shows, yeah, they
speaking of a solid movie, I watched this movie the other day called This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio,
hmm.
where basically Robert De Niro is marries Leonardo DiCaprio's mom. Like this is when Leonardo DiCaprio was a teenager, was still young. This is like in '93, where like
Oh,
Leonardo
okay.
DiCaprio's like mom marries Robert De Niro, and then Robert De Niro turned out to be like super abusive and super and like a huge asshole. And he's like always fucking with Leonardo DiCaprio and always like beating him up and fucking with him. And he's also like fucking with the wife too. And he's just a miserable piece of shit old fuck. That's the best way I could describe his character in the movie.
Holy
And
crap.
I gotta say, out of all like the gangster characters and whatever that Robert De Niro's played over the years, by far that movie is the most unlikable character he has ever played.
Are you serious?
No redeeming qualities whatsoever. Like I was like boiling throughout that whole movie watching this dude, where I'm like, yo, this dude fucking
Even worse,
sucks. Fucking
even worse
sucks.
than his performance, even worse than Cape Fear.
They're neck and neck. They're neck and neck. He's a despicable old fuck in this movie, bro. I would say if I could describe him in any way, he would be the stereotypical Trump supporter.
Oof.
Yeah,
Holy
it's
crap,
crazy,
bro.
man. Like they did that movie together all those years ago when like Leo was still relatively young, and yo, Leo was good even when he was young back then.
Mm.
Yo, but yeah, good stuff. But yeah, that movie will get you heated. So heated, you'll be ready to jump into that TV and fuck his ass up the way that Sean fucked up Vince at WrestleMania 22.
Holy crap.
Yeah, hit his ass with a chair and then fucking put a trash can over him and elbow his ass through the freaking table off a ladder.
Dang.
And then take the fucking Trump hat and just like throw it in his face. All right, but anyway, I think I've said enough. But yeah, so We have Night of Champions and also Double or Nothing coming up in several weeks, among other wrestling shit that'll probably be going on as the weeks go on. And stay tuned to us because we're going to be breaking you off with that shit, our interesting perspectives on it, and what we do predict will happen going forward. And for John Randall, this is Kirk Cadet for another edition of the Clash of the Champions. We will see you guys next time. Take care. God bless. And even though they lost tonight, I will still say this: Go Knicks. Have a good night.
Okay, peace.